After I gave birth, my husband's family announced, in our culture, the grandparents raised the firstborn. When I refused, his mother smirked, "Then you're disrespecting our ancestors." My husband looked torn. That night, I made a call. The next morning, they opened their mail and screamed when they read what I had done. I had just given birth to my first child. A beautiful, healthy baby boy. I was exhausted, sore, and overwhelmed, but also happier than I had ever been. My husband, Adam, was right beside me, holding my hand as I stared at our son. I thought we were about to start our life as a family. I had no idea what was coming. Adam's parents flew in from out of state a few days later. His mother, Cecilia, had always been overbearing, but I thought it was just normal mother-in-law behavior. She was opinionated, passive-aggressive, and a little too involved in our lives, but nothing I couldn't handle. Or so I thought. They arrived at the hospital, took one look at my son, and said something that made my stomach drop. In our culture, the grandparents raised the firstborn. I blinked. "Excuse me?" Cecilia smiled like she was explaining the weather. "It's tradition. The firstborn is raised by the grandparents. It's been this way for generations." I laughed. Not a real laugh, but one of those disbelieving, nervous chuckles when you think someone is joking. But then I saw Adam's face. He looked uncomfortable. He wasn't laughing. I turned to him, my pulse picking up. "You knew about this?" He shifted uncomfortably. "I thought we'd talk about it later." Cecilia clapped her hands together, thrilled. "There's nothing to talk about. We've already started setting up the nursery at our house. He'll be very happy with us." My mouth went dry. "You think I'm just going to hand over my baby?" Cecilia's smile didn't fade. If anything, it grew wider. "This is how it's always been. It's a great honor for the grandparents. You'll still be his mother, of course, but from a distance. We'll raise him with our values, and when he's older, he'll understand and appreciate it." I looked at Adam, waiting for him to say something. To tell them this was insane. To defend me. To tell his mother no. He just looked at the floor. Cecilia's husband, Robert, finally spoke. "This is how it is. In our family, we don't disrespect tradition." My heart pounded. "Well, in my family, mothers raise their own babies." Cecilia's expression hardened, but there was something smug underneath it. "So you're refusing?" "Obviously." She let out a dramatic sigh and shook her head. "Then you're disrespecting our ancestors." I felt like I was in some kind of fever dream. My body was still weak from giving birth, but I sat up straighter. "I don't care." Her eyes flashed. "Think about this before you make a mistake. Adam understands. He respects his heritage. He knows this is how it should be." Adam still wouldn't look at me. My hands clenched into fists. I turned to my husband. "Do you want to give our son to them?" His jaw tightened. "I don't want to, but no," I cut him off. "No buts. Either you're with me, or you're with them." Cecilia gasped. "You're making him choose between his family and you?" I stared at her. "I'm his family." This, I motioned to my son, sleeping in his hospital bassinet. "Is his family." Silence. Then Cecilia let out a soft chuckle. "Well," she said, tilting her head, "this will be interesting." The look in her eyes made my skin crawl. I had no idea what she was planning, but I knew this wasn't over. I had just given birth. I was exhausted. I needed to rest. So I let it go for the night. But I wasn't stupid. I had seen the way Cecilia had smirked. The way Adam had hesitated. The way Robert had looked at me like I was an inconvenience. I wasn't going to wait around and see what they tried next. That night, I made a call. The next morning, Cecilia and Robert received something in the mail. The second they opened it, they started screaming. The screaming started almost immediately. I sat at the hospital bed, holding my son, my body still aching. My phone buzzed on the nightstand. Adam stiffened as he saw the caller ID. His mother. I didn't reach for it. "Answer it," he said, his voice low. I shook my head. No, his fists clenched at his sides. "What did you do?" I looked up at him. What I had to. He grabbed his own phone and stormed into the hallway. A few seconds later, I could hear Cecilia shrieking even through the hospital walls. I had called my lawyer. Yes, I had a lawyer. Because I wasn't naive. I knew the moment Cecilia had spoken that this wouldn't be a simple disagreement. A family discussion. No, this was a battle. And I wasn't about to fight empty-handed. By the time I was discharged, I had legal documentation in place. Temporary custody orders, paperwork establishing my parental rights, and an emergency cease and desist warning against my in-laws attempting to take my child. I had also sent copies of everything straight to their house, along with a note, "My son is not yours. Do not test me." Adam walked back in, his face pale, his jaw tight. "You blindsided them." I laughed, but there was no humor in it. "They blindsided me when they tried to take my baby." His nostrils flared. "You didn't even let me talk to them first." I stared at him, then at our son sleeping in my arms. You did talk to them. You stood there and let them say it. You didn't fight for me. You didn't fight for him. His shoulders sagged. It's complicated. No, I said, my voice sharp. It's not. You either protect your child or you don't. Silence stretched between us. I didn't know who this man was anymore. The person I married would have never let this happen. But I had a newborn to think about. And I couldn't afford to waste energy on a man who was too weak to stand up for his own family. We went home the next day. I locked every door, double-checked every window. Maybe I was paranoid, but I didn't care. Cecilia's next move came 2 days later. She showed up at our front door, Robert standing stiffly beside her. She wasn't smiling this time. I just want to talk, she said sweetly. As a family. I stood in the doorway, arms crossed. We don't have anything to talk about. She sighed dramatically. You're acting like we tried to kidnap him. I blinked. You literally told me you were taking my baby. Robert's mouth pressed into a thin line. It's our right. My stomach turned. Get off my property. Cecilia's smile faltered. Adam, she said, turning to him, her voice sickly sweet. You're going to let her talk to us this way? Adam shifted beside me. Maybe we should at least. No, I turned to him. They think they have rights to our child. You want to entertain this? Cecilia's eyes darkened. You can make this difficult, but you won't win. I lifted my chin. We'll see about that. She inhaled sharply, then forced a smile. We'll be back. I slammed the door in her face. I didn't sleep that night. Every sound outside made me jump. Every shadow in the hallway made my heart race. I was holding my baby close when Adam sat up in bed. You need to make peace with them, he said. I turned my head slowly. Excuse me? They're not going to back down, he said, rubbing his face. They're serious about this. So am I. He sighed. They're just doing what they think is right. I stared at him in horror. You think what they're doing is right? I think it's their tradition, he said. And we knew that when we got married. My breath caught in my throat. So what, Adam? You think I should just hand over my baby? Let them take him. He looked at me, something conflicted flashing in his eyes. Then he sighed and stood up. I'm going to stay at their place for a few days. Clear my head. My blood turned to ice. What? I need to think, he said, grabbing his bag. This whole thing, he exhaled sharply. It's just a lot. You're leaving us. My voice cracked. He wouldn't look at me. I watched him walk out the door. And that's when I knew. This wasn't just about my in-laws anymore. It was about my husband. And I had just lost him to them. Adam didn't come home that night. Or the next. At first, I told myself he just needed space. That maybe, just maybe, he'd realize what a mistake he was making. But on the third day, I woke up to a message from him. We need to talk. Meet me at my parents' house. Every instinct in my body screamed no. But I needed answers. I needed to know if the man I married was truly gone or if there was still something left to fight for. So I went. The moment I pulled into their driveway, something felt off. Cecilia was standing at the door, smiling like she'd already won. Adam stood behind her, stiff and unreadable. I walked up the steps, keeping my son strapped in his car seat, my grip tight on the handle. What do you want? I asked, not bothering with pleasantries. Cecilia clasped her hands together. We've been talking. And we think we've come to a compromise. I glanced at Adam. He didn't meet my eyes. What compromise? She gestured toward the house. Let's talk inside. No, I stayed right where I was. Her lips thinned. You're being unreasonable. And you're being manipulative. Her expression darkened, but then she took a slow breath. Fine, she said. Here's our offer. You let us have full custody, and in return, we'll let you be a part of his life. I nearly laughed. You think I'm going to give you my son? Cecilia's smile turned cold. If you fight us, Adam will take you to court for custody. And we'll back him. My pulse pounded. What are you talking about? Adam finally spoke. I think he'd be better off here, he said quietly. With them. Something inside me shattered. You're threatening to take my baby from me? I just want what's best for him. I felt sick. My own husband was turning against me. Cecilia, sensing my panic, pounced. With our lawyers and our connections, we will win, she said smoothly. But we don't want to take him from you completely. If you agree to our terms now, you can still be involved. Visits, holidays, you mean supervised visits with my own child. She smiled. It's better than nothing. I gripped the car seat handle so tight my fingers ached. If you try to take him from me, I will destroy you. Cecilia's eyes flickered with something. Was it amusement? We'll see about that. I didn't go home. I knew I couldn't. Adam had a key. He knew the security codes. He could walk in any time he wanted. And if his parents were backing him, who knew what they'd try next? So I drove straight to my lawyer's office. I laid everything out. The threats. The compromise. The way Adam had turned on me overnight. She listened carefully, taking notes, then looked up. You need to leave. I swallowed. Leave? You need to get out of here. If they file for custody before you do, they could make a case that you're mentally unstable, unwilling to cooperate, or even kidnapping your own child. The room felt like it was spinning. But he's mine. Legally, he's both of yours, she said. And if Adam decides to push this, you could be in for a long, ugly battle. I clenched my jaw. So what do I do? She leaned forward. Get somewhere safe. Now. File for emergency custody before they do. And whatever you do, don't let them get to you first. I exhaled shakily. Okay. That night, I packed a bag, grabbed my son, and left. I had nowhere to go. My family was across the country. I had friends, but none I trusted with something this huge. So I drove. For hours. Until I couldn't keep my eyes open anymore. I finally stopped at a cheap roadside motel, carrying my son inside, my heart hammering the whole time. I locked the door, put a chair under the handle, and collapsed onto the bed. I barely slept. Every sound made me jolt awake, expecting to see Adam or Cecilia standing over me. The next morning, I called my lawyer again. I need to file for emergency custody. Good, she said. But there's something else. What? She hesitated. Adam filed first. A wave of nausea rolled through me. What? They're claiming you're unstable, she said. That you're running away with the baby, refusing to let Adam see him. My stomach twisted. But I had to. They threatened me. They have more resources, she said grimly. And in cases like this, courts tend to favor shared custody, at best. I clutched the phone. At best, she sighed. At worst, they could argue you're unfit. That you're kidnapping him. My blood ran cold. This wasn't just a fight anymore. This was war. I couldn't breathe. Adam had filed first. He was trying to paint me as unstable. Me, the one protecting our child. My lawyer told me we had to act fast. You need to come in today. We'll file a counter-petition for full custody. Do you have any evidence of their threats? I clenched my teeth. No, nothing solid. Nothing except my word. And in court, that wouldn't be enough against Adam's wealthy, well-connected family. I had one shot. I had to prove that they were dangerous. And I knew exactly where to start. I thought back to every smug, self-assured comment Cecilia had made. The way she had known she would win. It had to be more than confidence. She had something up her sleeve. I scrolled through my phone, my hands shaking. There was only one person who could help me, Adam's cousin, Lisa. Lisa had always been the black sheep of the family. She was outspoken, independent, everything Cecilia hated. I dialed her number. She picked up on the second ring. Hello? I exhaled sharply. Lisa, I need your help. She was silent for a moment. You finally figured it out, didn't you? My stomach twisted. What do you mean? Lisa sighed. You're not the first one. Cecilia's done this before. I froze. What? Lisa's voice was heavy. She did the same thing to my mom. I swallowed hard. What happened? She took my older brother away. Lisa's voice wavered. My mom fought for years. But Cecilia had money, lawyers, influence. She won. My hands clenched into fists. Lisa lowered her voice. She's going to try to bury you in legal fees, drain you emotionally, and make you look like the unstable one. I felt sick. How do I stop her? Lisa hesitated. Then she said, I have something. Something you can use. Lisa sent me a recording. A secret recording of Cecilia, from years ago, bragging about how she had manipulated the courts, faked evidence, and bought off a social worker to win custody of Lisa's brother. As I listened, rage boiled in my chest. I had proof. I sent it to my lawyer immediately. She called me within minutes. This changes everything. I didn't wait for the court date. I went straight to Cecilia's house. Adam was there. So were Robert and Cecilia. They were sitting in their pristine, expensive living room, looking smug. I walked in, my phone in my hand. Cecilia barely glanced at me. Finally coming to your senses? I held up my phone. Actually, I came to deliver something. I hit play. Cecilia's voice filled the room. You think the courts care about the truth? Please. It's all about who has the better lawyer. The right connections. You buy the truth. And that idiot girl never stood a chance. The color drained from her face. Robert stood up. What the hell is this? A recording, I said. Of your wife admitting she stole a child. I turned to Adam. And this is the woman you trusted over me. Adam looked pale, his eyes darting between me and his mother. This is taken out of context, Cecilia stammered. I laughed coldly. Oh, let's ask a judge about that. Adam's voice was hoarse. Mom, tell me this isn't true. Cecilia opened her mouth. Closed it. That was all he needed. His face crumbled. You lied to me, he whispered. Cecilia's expression twisted. I did what was best for our family. No, he said, his voice shaking. You did what was best for you. He turned to me. His eyes were full of regret. I was wrong. I crossed my arms. You were. He swallowed hard. Can we fix this? I stared at him for a long moment. No, the court case was brutal. Cecilia fought hard, but the recording was damning. My lawyer tore her apart. In the end, I was granted full custody. Cecilia was barred from seeing my son. Adam got supervised visitation, barely. He tried to apologize, begged for another chance. But I had already spent too much of my life waiting for him to stand up for me. I wasn't going to wait anymore. Lisa reached out a few weeks later. I don't know how you did it, she said. But you beat her. I looked at my son, sleeping peacefully in my arms. I had to.